The illusion of later. We love to believe that tomorrow is guaranteed, that the goals, the dreams, the changes we want in life can wait until later. We say things like, "I'll do it when I have more time. I'll start once I feel ready. I'll focus when things settle down." But later is a dangerous illusion. Time doesn't pause for us. Every sunrise is a reminder that the clock is moving forward with or without our permission. Every sunset is a day gone forever. Think about it. How many times have you pushed something aside, believing you'd return to it, only to realize months or years have passed? That project you wanted to start, that habit you wanted to build, that person you wanted to call. The truth is, life won't wait for you. Tomorrow isn't promised. Waiting feels safe, but it quietly robs you of opportunities, potential, and joy. So the challenge is simple. Stop waiting. Start now. Even if it's messy, even if it's small, because the only life you have is happening right now. Why we keep waiting. If life is short and time is precious, why do we still postpone? Why do we keep telling ourselves, "Not today," even when we know tomorrow isn't guaranteed? The answer lies in how our brains work. Waiting isn't just laziness, it's psychology. Fear of failure. We imagine rejection, embarrassment, wasted effort. So we tell ourselves it's safer to wait. But waiting is simply failure in slow motion. Fear of success. Change is uncomfortable. Success brings responsibility and expectations, and our brain resists both. Comfort bias. The present feels easier than the unknown. Scrolling your phone now feels safer than chasing your dream. Loss aversion. We hate losing more than we love winning. Better to avoid risk than risk regret, even though waiting creates regret of its own. The myth of readiness. We wait until we feel ready. But readiness never comes first. It only grows through action. The result? We convince ourselves we're being cautious, but really we're just stuck. So the question isn't just, why do we wait? The real question is, knowing this, do you want to keep waiting? The price of waiting. Waiting feels safe because nothing bad seems to happen immediately. You delay a dream, postpone a decision, put off a habit, and the world looks the same the next day. But beneath the surface, the cost is growing. Lost opportunities. Every time you hesitate, you risk losing something that will never come back. The job you didn't apply for, the friendship you didn't nurture, the chance you didn't take. Wasted potential. Skills fade when unused. Creativity shrinks when ignored. By waiting, you're not preserving your potential, you're letting it wither. Stagnation. Life moves forward whether you act or not. Standing still doesn't keep you in place, it pulls you backward. Emotional weight. Delay creates guilt, anxiety, and shame. The longer you wait, the heavier it feels to begin. Regret. At the end of life, people rarely regret trying and failing. They regret not trying at all. The cruelest part is, you don't notice the price in days or weeks. You notice it in decades, when it's too late to buy back the time you lost. Waiting isn't neutral. Waiting is expensive. And the longer you wait, the higher the bill becomes. The illusion of the perfect moment. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, "I'll start when the time is right." It feels responsible to wait, to be more prepared, to have more money, to feel more confident. But the truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. You wait to exercise until you're less busy, but life never slows down. You wait to start a project until you have more resources, but new challenges always appear. You wait to feel confident, but confidence only grows after you take action. The perfect time is a moving target, always just out of reach. Waiting for it is like chasing a horizon. You'll never arrive. History shows us that great things rarely began under perfect conditions. Businesses were launched in recessions, books were written in borrowed hours, families were built in less than ideal circumstances. If people had waited for everything to line up, nothing would have happened. The truth is simple. Readiness is not the starting point. It's the result of starting. So instead of asking, "Is this the perfect moment?" ask, "What small step can I take right now with what I have?" Because imperfect action today beats perfect intentions tomorrow. Stories of waiting versus stories of action. Sometimes the best way to understand the danger of waiting and the power of acting is through stories. The cost of waiting. Think of the person who always says, "Someday I'll write my book. Someday I'll travel. Someday I'll change my life." Years pass, responsibilities pile up, energy fades, and someday quietly turns into never. This is the silent tragedy of waiting. Most dreams don't die from failure, they die from delay. Stories of action. Now look at those who refuse to wait. Vincent van Gogh painted thousands of works in less than 10 years, even though no one appreciated him at the time. If he had waited for recognition, the world would never know his art. J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter book as a struggling single mother, scribbling in cafes. If she had waited for life to become easier, the series would not exist. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he began sharing his fried chicken recipe. If he had believed it was too late, there would be no KFC today. Ordinary examples. It's not only famous people. The student who learns 10 new words every day becomes fluent in a few years. The shy person who dares to speak up creates friendships that last a lifetime. The worker who invests small amounts consistently builds financial security over decades. The difference is simple. They acted. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They started small, but they started. So ask yourself, which story do you want to tell? The story of hesitation and regret, or the story of courage and action? The science of action versus inaction. Why is waiting so easy while action feels so hard? The answer lies in the way our brain is wired. The two voices in the brain. Inside your head, two systems are constantly in conflict. The limbic system, the ancient part of the brain that craves comfort and safety. It says, don't risk, don't push, stay where it's familiar. And the prefrontal cortex, the rational, planning part of the brain that cares about long-term goals. It says, work on your dream, save for the future, build the life you want. Most of the time, the limbic system wins, not because it's wiser, but because it's louder. Present bias. Humans naturally prefer rewards we can feel now over those we'll receive later. That's why scrolling your phone feels more appealing than writing a page of your book, even though the book could change your life. This is called present bias, and it locks us in cycles of delay. Loss aversion. We hate losing more than we love winning. A small risk of failure feels heavier than the potential of a big success. So we choose waiting, and in doing so, we guarantee loss, the loss of time. Action rewires the brain. The hopeful part is that every time you take action, you train your brain. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. Each step forward builds a pathway that makes acting easier next time. Momentum compounds. Starting once makes starting again less scary. The takeaway: waiting feels natural because your brain evolved to avoid discomfort, but the same brain can be reshaped through consistent action. The more you practice choosing courage over hesitation, the more natural it becomes.
Practical tools to stop waiting. Understanding why we wait is important, but knowledge without action is just another form of delay. What really matters are the tools that help you break the cycle and move forward. Here are some of the most effective ones. 1. The 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Send the message, wash the dish, make the note. If the task is bigger, commit to just 2 minutes. Read 1 page, do 1 push-up, write 1 sentence. Once you start, momentum usually carries you further. 2. The 5-second rule. The moment you feel hesitation, count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. This simple trick interrupts overthinking and gives control back to your rational brain. 3. The future self exercise. Picture yourself 5 or 10 years from now. Which future will they thank you for? The one where you acted today, or the one where you kept waiting? Writing a short note from your future self makes the choice feel real. 4. Shrink the mountain. Big goals feel overwhelming. Instead of saying, "I need to get fit," say, "I'll walk for 5 minutes." Instead of, "I'll write a book," say, "I'll write 1 paragraph." Small wins add up, and your brain rewards you with dopamine, which builds motivation. 5. Journaling prompts. Write down each night, "What did I do today that my future self will thank me for? What did I postpone and why?" Awareness builds accountability, and accountability builds action. 6. Memento mori. The Stoics reminded themselves daily, life is fragile. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Place a small reminder where you see it often. If not now, when? 7. The 7-day challenge. For 1 week, make a pact with yourself. No waiting. Day 1. Do 1 task you've been putting off. Day 2. Start something new, even imperfectly. Day 3. Say yes to an opportunity you'd normally decline. Continue until day 7, then reflect. How did it feel to finally act? The bottom line: you don't have to change your whole life in a day. You just need to stop waiting. Small actions create momentum, and momentum creates transformation. Living with urgency, not panic. And final reflection. Stopping the habit of waiting doesn't mean rushing through life in a frenzy. It doesn't mean cramming every second with endless tasks. It means living with urgency, not panic. Panic says, do everything at once or you'll fail. Urgency says, do what matters most today. Urgency is about clarity. It's about focusing on the people, the dreams, and the actions that truly matter, and letting go of the distractions that don't. Because in the end, life is not measured by how perfectly you planned, but by how fully you lived. The final reflection. Time is not infinite. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Life is happening right now, whether you participate in it or not. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for more money, more confidence, more time. Stop waiting for someday. Call the person. Write the page. Take the first step. Say yes to the opportunity. Start building the life you want today. Not tomorrow, not someday, not later. Because waiting is the thief of life, and life will not wait for you. So stop waiting. Start living right now.